When we bought our off-grid land, we had this dream that we could build a home by cutting down trees on our own property and using an Alaskan chainsaw mill to turn them into something usable. Of course, it was just that, a dream. We figured we should try it out first on a smaller project, so we scouted out a couple trees, cut them down, made ourselves a DIY Alaskan chainsaw mill, and got to work turning this dream into a reality. Since we had no place other than our 19-foot RV to relax, we decided we'd try our hand at building a rustic deck that would hold a wood-fired hot tub. Seemed easy enough, but it was our first project together of this scope, so there were some bugs to work out. Best tackle a deck together before a house. The first task was to get the tree sections into millable positions. All we had was a four-wheeler, a winch, and some chain, so we made do. We made a few sets of bucking stands. There was a learning curve to our DIY chainsaw mill, but I'll be darned, we made our first slabs of lumber. Beautiful Douglas fir. One by one, we loaded the heavy, green slabs into our utility trailer. We turned these into framing lumber for the structural components of the deck. We did cave and bought some treated 4x4s for the deck posts. It was so satisfying watching the deck come together, knowing the wood came from our very own property. To maximize our logs, we left the bark on some and live edge on others. It only added to the rustic feel. Believe it or not, we designed this deck to hold a lot of weight, so it would accommodate the hot tub. The following spring, we'd work on completing the deck. We fell a pine tree to use as the decking. The first section we milled on the hillside. Not so fun. Way better to mill on level ground. We had to get creative to move the remainder of the log sections from one side of the hill to the bottom of the other side. We didn't know we signed up to be loggers, but here we were. We upgraded from our DIY chainsaw mill to something that was a little more robust, and we're so happy we did. The precision and ease of use was worth the investment. We made more sawdust than you could possibly imagine. Turning slabs into lumber is quite the process, but easy once you get the hang of it. First, we would run a chalk line so that we could get the line of best fit along the bark. We'd cut this side off with our skill saw. We then had a flat edge to run against the table saw to cut the other side, where we also tried to save as much wood as possible. Instead of turning these boards into dimensional lumber that was all consistent, risking wasting a lot of wood and not having enough for the decking, we decided to keep each board full width and have various widths on the deck. removed any remaining bark and would install the boards wane side down. We routed the top edges so that any inconsistencies in height were smoothed out, therefore eliminating any tripping hazards. Words can't explain what it felt like to see the decking on for the first time. It felt like we were finally getting somewhere. We added blocking and then began installing the boards. Because we'd have a hot tub in one corner, we decided to buy pressure-treated lumber to withstand the moisture. I don't think pine was gonna cut it long term. We took windfall from a big storm and used that for the posts of our deck railing. We used a different type of chainsaw mill to do the posts. Pretty neat to be able to make both horizontal and vertical cuts. I think the cool thing about this deck is that we can tell you where almost every piece of it came from. With the exception of whatever we bought, every piece has a story. We used more scraps around our property for the railing, including branches that were in our burn pile. A neighbor gifted us some old railroad ties that we used for the stair risers. 2-inch slabs were used as the stairs, and leftover material from our hot tub build was used as the stair railing. we built furniture with, you guessed it, scraps. That first soak was amazing. The deck served as a place to unwind while we built our house. We decided not to go the chainsaw mill route and primarily used our bandsaw mill for the large projects, but it's earned a spot in our tool shed, and the value and satisfaction that comes from knowing how to turn trees into building materials is priceless. That's pretty hot.
That's sizzling.
I think we outdid ourselves. This
Yeah.
turned out pretty doggone good. I mean, I'd do it again.
Heck yeah.
No hesitation. This was the best first project we could have ever done on our property.